Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Memes of the Week. The best thing you can do for this channel is beat the like button like it owes you money before watching this, so it reaches a wider audience. Also, before I get on with the memes, first a word from today's sponsor, the MGTOW Book Collection Part 2. And now on with the memes. Number 1, if you think you've dated some bad-looking women before, then remember that this is Chuck Schumer's wife. Wait a minute, you mean this isn't Chuck Schumer himself? That Schumer isn't actually the wife? Her name is Iris, and here they are on their wedding day back 45 years ago. She does look feminine in this picture to some extent, but I couldn't find any more pictures of her while she was younger. This is her with fake up and a dress, and she still looks mostly masculine. They say that love is blind. Just looking at her makes me wish I was blind. Moving on, the WNBA players are apparently starting GoFundMe campaigns to help pay for their game fines. What fines? Apparently they get fined while they're playing. I don't know about you, but I think they would have better luck if they started an OF page. The fines aren't even all that big, anywhere from $500 to $2,000 per year for most players. They can pay that, but they would prefer to play the victim and get simps to send them cash and prizes instead. Number 3, what's wrong with women like this asking to be great by Luigi Mangione? They're excited by dangerous good-looking men that end people. It's social proof that they can use violence to protect them from animals and other dudes. It's called hybristophilia, and every man needs to look it up. This makes me wonder how many men out there get away with sexual assault because they're attractive or have high status. Up next, this Karen wonders, what if women exploited their husband's paychecks the way that men exploit their wife's labor? What labor? This is gaslighting. Women make 85% of the consumer spending decisions in the family, so that tells me that they're exploiting men's paychecks. This is her attempting to put up a smokescreen that it doesn't happen. Also, recent studies have shown that men not only bring more money in with their paychecks, but actually do more than half of the household labor. Number 5, are you old enough to remember what that button is? Is it the turbo, reset, or power button on a computer tower? The power and reset buttons are down below, but I think this is after the turbo button was popular. Some people are saying that it's the power button for the floppy drive. Zoomers probably don't even know that this is a computer and probably think it's a mini fridge or something. The only thing that can handle food here is that CD-ROM drive, which doubles as a cup holder. Moving on, the world's chess champ, Magnus Carlsen, beats ChatGPT at chess without losing a single piece. Looks like ChatGPT sucks at that game. I don't think its purpose is to be good, but it's there to spy on people using it by collecting data from them and then profiling their interests and thought patterns. It's making a profile about you. ChatGPT is also probably learning how to play better from Magnus. Even when AI loses, it still wins by collecting its information. This guy also looks kind of like old Val Kilmer. Rest in peace. Number 7, ever noticed that most of Canada's most wanted aren't even from Canada? I think at least half of them look like they weren't even born in the country. And recently more whites were added to this list because they didn't like the idea that it was mostly minority representation. When you import the third world criminals, you get third world rates of crime. No shock there. Also no shocker with the government trying to cover it up. Up next, here's the difference between the percentage of obese adults in 1990 versus 2018. And you know it's gotten worse since COVID. Today there are 10 states where 35% plus of the population has a BMI of 35 plus. I remember back in the early 90s most people were skinny in the United States, and it was somewhat rare to see someone fat. Now it's getting somewhat rare to see someone with a BMI under 25. With 60 to 70% of the adult population being overweight. Number 9, this woman lured love-starved men online and robbed them, and yet the paper calls her a sultry penthouse pet. Meanwhile, she's just a pretty burglar that uses her cooch as bait. For a moment there, I thought this was Anna Paulina at first glance. But this isn't all that new, and she's kinda dumb. All she had to do was marry one rich guy with no prenup, and she would have robbed them for millions in a divorce, without getting into trouble. Instead, she's an idiot. I also didn't know there were still penthouse pets out there. Moving on, the founder of Lululemon, a Canadian company, actually was fined by the Elections Commission in British Columbia, Canada, for saying that the New Democratic Party is communist. Well, they technically are as close to it as they can without being it. This is Canada, where you get fined for speaking the truth, and soon you won't be able to tell anyone about the fine because they'll fine you again and throw you in prison. Remember, everyone, NDP stands for Needles, Drugs, and Poverty. Number 11, isn't Kelly just so cute? She says that signs of an alpha male include men that never judge women for their past and support a single mom's kids as his own. What a load of hooey. Nope, that's the opposite. A simp and cuck. And women like this are trying to undo some of the damage that the manosphere has done to their reputations. I'm surprised she didn't say that a real man marries an emotionally damaged single mother while a man looking for young virgins is a total loser. Up next here we have yet another white woman dying of malnourishment. This time she's a vegan student. Why do they keep choosing to win their Darwin Awards this way? This doesn't happen to most vegans though. In fact, I know vegans that died from cancer because without meat, many of them got their calories from carbs, and those cause horrible levels of inflammation. By the looks of her, it seems that she saved the planet twice. Here's a vegan giving you dietary advice. Also, how is she a student? She looked 56. Number 13, this woman says that she dated a dude that made her choose who he wanted to cheat on her with anytime she pissed him off. Odds are he was pro hot Chad that could actually act like a jerk and still maintain frame. He rubbed it in her face that she was replaceable anytime. And I guess that turned her on even more because it proved to her that she was with a high-value man. Most men can never have this level of authority in their relationships because they're thirsty and don't have any leverage. Moving on, someone says that future generations will blame the millennials for tanking the birth rate to find themselves until they turn 34 years old. Actually, that's wrong. It's the boomers that'll be blamed because they were the first generation in history on the whole that had a fertility rate below replacement in the Western world. For example, in Canada, the fertility rate dropped below 2 back in 1970. That's when the oldest boomers were only 25. Number 15, this guy's wife has been in labor a while, and he says there's no need for both of them to be suffering. You know, she's going to remember this and shame him in front of his family and friends for this for the rest of his life. Women hate it when you have a good time while they are suffering. I can just hear that guy talking to the doctor saying that if you want a slice, then don't give my wife an epidural. Here's a man that maintains frame in a relationship. Up next, rest in peace, Erin Pizzey. She was an early feminist and set up the first shelter for both men and women and was quickly kicked out of the feminist movements because she promoted equality instead of equity. I had the good fortune of meeting her and she asked me if I was going to get married one day, and I told her no. Of course, I didn't see any headlines of her passing in the lamestream media outlets. It was buried way down in their pages. She also discovered that there are just as many female PDF files as male ones out there, and working against them was a very dangerous job. Number 17, a new poll reveals that conservatives outnumber liberals in 38 out of 50 U.S. states, which are now turning red. Of course, it is because liberals aren't having kids, and the only way they can grow their numbers is through illegal immigration and indoctrinating the kids on the right. Things like Drag Queen Story Hour are not a show of strength from the left, but a sign of desperation and weakness. Why do you also think that Biden flooded America with millions of illegals? Desperation. Moving on, what do you call this new look for Anna Kasparian? She looks like a post-wall demon here with those gums. Also, I think that she's starting to grow on many guys out there because she's slowly shifting to the right the way that Dave Rubin did. If you all remember one time, he was part of the Young Jerks. Forget about hot women like this one on the left. What men really want is the woman on the right. Number 19, what's behind this trend of women on OF turning to Christianity instead? Are they looking for a simp husband that'll look past all their sins? Are the men on the left that are willing to date them a bunch of weak pansies so they want conservative men instead too? Maybe the money is drying up and they're playing the part of the female chameleon. Who knows? It could also be that they just want some more attention. Once you've been in the adult business, there's no real way to clean your image. Up next, this woman isn't happy because she sent a guy a breakup text message, but he said okay instead of fighting for her. She's upset because that shows that he has more value in the sexual marketplace than she does, because odds are he'll be able to fire a replacement in no time. And if he can't, then at least he's maintaining frame and not letting a woman walk all over him. If he fought for her, then odds are that she would have lost respect for him. It's a no-win scenario. Number 21, here's some serious cope from women. Tech Time says that women's egg quality stays stable with age, but that men's sperm has a biological clock. I guess that men saying that women have empty egg cartons is getting to women. So they have to make up propaganda like this to try and trick some poor simps out there into knocking up a woman thinking that his boys are about to go bad. Men make 200 million sperm a day while a newborn baby girl will never make another egg ever again. Moving on, back in ancient Egypt, the pharaoh expected his slaves to pay about 20% of their annual crop harvest as income. Meanwhile, the median U.S. taxpayer pays over 30% of his tax and income tax. Also remember that the pharaoh also gave the grain back to the people when there was famine. The government always wants a cut of the action, like the modern-day mafia. In 1773, this was America's response to a 3% tax, versus now with an almost 50% tax. Number 23, this happy real estate agent buys a home from a man with Alzheimer's disease for half its value. So now we're celebrating women taking advantage of vulnerable men. Imagine if a man had done this to a woman. Imagine the outcry. He'd probably be charged criminally under elder abuse laws. I wouldn't be surprised if this woman somehow said that she was the victim even after taking half his home. For nothing. I hope his kids, if he has them, sue her into oblivion. Up next, I know I've shared this before, but honestly, why do women get so fat so fast? This one looks like she gained 50 pounds a year over the last 3 years. But funny enough, he looks happier now than he did before. Looks like we might have ourselves a genuine chubby chaser on our hands. Not everyone gets lucky with the fatties. Some of them put on weight in the wrong places, and she doesn't have a double chin either. If you like them really fat, this is the best you'll get. Number 25 and the last one, more than 1,000 migrants came across the channel into Britain in just one day. If that number keeps up, then that's almost 400,000 people a year. Just for reference, 160,000 Allied troops landed on the beaches of Normandy on D-Day. So this is like reverse D-Day with Africans. Again, the elites want this because they want British natives fighting migrants one day rather than them. That's my theory anyway. So that's it for another Memes of the Week. Please give this video a like to push it up in the algorithm and so new viewers can find it. If you enjoy this series and want me to keep making it, then donate at the PayPal and Subscribe Star links. Anyways, enjoy the rest of your day, and cheers.